Welcome. This is a series of Ask Genie.
Ask a Genie.
All about thermography and wellness. So today is September 1st, the first episode of this series. And
Good day.
We'll keep going on and post maybe like once a week. So we may have 4, we may have more, we may have less. We'll just see how it goes. But we're going to do these about 20 minutes each. And it's like I said, it's going to be all about thermography, if you don't know about that, and all about wellness. So my name is Lisa Hayes.
And I'm Genie Goykhberg.
And I actually have another gig, host of Dreams for Society, and I'm a dream coach, your Dreams for You coaching. But I also obviously like to talk, and I like to interview, and I like to chat, especially about wellness and this amazing tool of thermography.
It really is.
And so I'm so thrilled to be facilitating this conversation with you, Genie.
And I'm delighted that you decided to do that.
Thank you. You have so much to offer. So much
believe
knowledge.
I do.
So much knowledge.
But without you, I would not be able to do all of that. People would have no clue that knowledge even exists somewhere.
Well, I doubt that very seriously, but we're going to have a lot of fun getting to know each other and also learning about how through thermography we can get to know our minds and bodies and become very well and stay that way. So in this episode 1, we're going to obviously focus on thermography. What is thermography?
Thermography is actually a test. We are using DITI, digital infrared thermal imaging, which is digital camera. We're using that camera to read people's thermal pattern. Because if you're a walking, talking, breathing creature, you emit heat. And if there's anything that's going on in the body will raise temperature in that part of the body. If it's kind of acute situation, the temperature, the pattern, thermal pattern, looks differently than it's chronic, let's say. So inflammation is not a bad word, unless you watch commercials. But inflammation in the beginning of some trauma, let's say, or something, acute situation, is pretty much showing you that body is fighting to get back to the homeostasis. So the camera can read that pattern and actually send it to my notebook and let the medical doctor to do studies and interpretation of that studies. But it's really the only test now known that can actually see the difference, the changes in body functionalities, changes in body physiologies. All other tests, including ultrasound, can only see what is already there, already measurable, detectable, and probably have a Latin name already for that, which is a disease. The difference between two of them, that one is a true prevention. Thermography shines in comparison. Thermography is great in monitoring health. All other tests are looking for disease. Did that answer the question?
I think it did. And let's backtrack just a moment because I accidentally sidestepped a very important part of this first episode, and that is I'd like to tell the viewers a little bit about you, Genie.
Oh. Can you do that really a little bit?
And your full name is Eugenia, right?
Eugenia
Goykhberg? Or how do you say it in Russia?
It was actually a Bavarian town, like Hochberg.
Okay.
But Russians translated, my husband's family is probably from Germany, Bavaria.
Okay.
And when I married, I got, my maiden name is actually Magidon, like Armageddon.
Go figure. My goodness, Armageddon?
Well, Ar means in Hebrew means amount.
Okay.
Magidon is the place where we know what happened eventually.
Yeah.
So my first name is Eugenia, and maiden name was Magidon. And when I got married, it became Goykhberg. So when Russians translated German Hochberg, it became Goykhberg.
Okay.
But you can skip KH. You can say Goykhberg.
Goykhberg.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it will work.
Okay, it'll work. So you might have gathered from this brief little snippet here that Genie was born and raised in what was the Soviet Union.
True.
And I was just so amazed when I gathered it. You know, I've known Genie for a long time, but I did not realize, Genie, that you came to the United States for the first time in 1990. And you didn't know any English.
No, my husband didn't allow me to learn English because really back in Soviet Union, whoever taught English was not their native language. So he didn't want me to put me in a position to relearn from wrong learning. So I came with none.
And you only came with 4 suitcases and $400?
Correct. Yes.
You had to leave everything behind.
Yes.
And you got like the last train out?
Pretty much. We were the last, one of the last families who escaped the old way.
So you were a refugee.
We were refugees.
But unfunded. No families were
Unfunded.
supporting you? Or
Well, at that point, George Sr. was the boss. And
who's George Sr.?
I'm sorry, not George.
You mean George Bush?
Not George Bush, right?
Yeah, George Bush, the senior.
Yes, okay. Well,
Okay, I didn't know.
George was enough.
President George Bush. I thought maybe you were talking about
You're going to have more fun with that. So you're my official translator now.
Okay, yeah. George H.W. Bush or
Correct.
George
And
Sr.
America at that point ran out of money.
Okay.
And we're sitting in Italy. We actually went through Europe through 3 countries.
Right.
We were vetted.
Oh, wow.
And in Italy, for about 6 months it was. In Italy there was no money, so they selected families of 3, so it's only 3 mouths to feed. And both parents had to have advanced degrees. My husband had PhD in math, and I had master's in custom-built machinery design.
Mechanical engineering.
And both of us had to be younger than 40. It was a long time ago.
My goodness.
And so they gave us a status of refugees, but we'd never seen any federal nor state, we'd never seen any food stamps.
So they wouldn't let you come into the United States unless you were highly educated with advanced degrees.
Not necessary, because they didn't
younger
have
than
money.
40, and only 3 of you, so you only had a daughter, so that worked.
They selected that people who could be self-sufficient, so to speak.
Right.
They selected those people to not giving them the package of financial help.
So you were able to come when you might not have been able to, because there wasn't money available, but you could come under these other conditions.
Right. We could come as a status refugees. So in 5 years, we became citizens.
Okay.
But financially, they found sponsors for us.
Okay, good.
So we had an apartment was somewhat furnished.
Good.
And it was paid for 3 months, and they helped my husband to find a job. And Humana hired my husband. It was first Russian.
Humana is a local healthcare.
It was Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, Louisville, Kentucky. Okay.
So the first guy I understood on TV was the guy from Kentucky giving interviews somewhere in New York, I guess.
Wow. When did you come to Indianapolis, Indiana?
5 years later, 1995.
Okay.
Yes. My husband got a good job at USA Fund. I don't remember. So the company was working with students' loans.
Wow. Well, my experience with Genie, as you could tell, very, very intelligent you are, and you've accomplished so many things. Board certified, I have to read this because there's so much. Board certified traditional naturopath, which we'll get into when we get into the wellness segments of this, the wellness episodes. Obviously, in this episode, we're going to talk about thermography. You're a board certified clinical thermographer at the advanced level.
Correct.
We can talk about that. You've also gotten a Loomis Digestive Health Specialist degree, advanced level.
Right.
You're a physiognomist. Did I say that right?
Yes, physiognomy. When I look at somebody, I can see what's going on inside.
Right. You're able to judge.
Because body talks.
Yeah, from the facial characteristics, right?
For many different, like the way we walk, talk,
Okay.
You can see the weakest link. You can see the source of stress.
Right.
It's kind of like body talks. It goes like, here I am.
Yeah.
And we'll go, talk to my hand. I'm busy. Can't you see?
Yeah. So there's a lot of body language.
There's a lot of communication between them.
Awesome. I didn't know it had a name. Physiognomist.
Physiognomist, which
Yeah.
is physio, is like physiology, physio, the way we
Yeah.
behave,
Yeah.
the words we're using.
Yeah.
One lady said, "Oh, don't be picky with my words." I said, "They're kind of like urine test. You
Right.
can analyze it."
Oh my goodness. And then obviously we talked about you're a mechanical engineer, and then you also achieved a minor in physics.
Right.
So my goodness, I mean, I'm glad they let you come into the United States.
Me too. I'm even more.
You're an asset. You're an asset here.
Thank you so
Oh my
much.
goodness.
And whatever I do, I really go deep to the roots.
Yeah, you do. I mean, very detailed, and that is something that we're going to talk about in addition to your thermal imaging that you provide.
Right, but this is the test,
Yeah.
You have to have some assessment tool. Mm-hmm. You have to have some assessment tool I think that the most important things about what mothers can give their kids is to help them to know who they are.
Right.
From very early stage.
Right.
I encourage all mothers to have like a journal of about their kids. And just notice like what happened differently between them. And when they turn like 30 or got married, that would be a huge gift for them. Because we have to know who we are. What can save your life can easily end mine. We are different.
Very good. So in addition, according to the experts, thermography imaging is the safest, non-invasive, no radiation, FDA-registered form of digital infrared thermal imaging.
Correct.
And, you've said to me it's an effective and accurate assessment tool to identify one's health risk factors. So in addition to what we're going to dive into, what the thermal imaging reveals, you take a very detailed health history report from your client.
Right.
And those two things combined, the thermal image and
Health history.
the health history, you can send to the physician,
Correct.
the certified physician in this area of thermal imaging, and along with those two very important things, the image and the health history report, he doesn't have to look at your client or be in person with your client necessarily.
That's good enough information to know the health history. Let's talk about your health history, okay?
Right.
And
Right.
as more accurate it is, in combination between good health history and very detailed and accurate imaging of your body,
Right.
only in correlation between those two knowledge, the thermologists, that medical doctors, some of them are radiologists,
Okay.
can get you as their patient
Right.
a pretty accurate, I would say, analysis of your studies.
Right. Assessment. There is no
Assessment.
diagnosis.
No. Well,
Because there's nothing to diagnose. There's no disease at this stage.
for one,
right?
mammogram is not a diagnostic tool either.
Okay. Very
Ultrasound is not a diagnostic. Biopsy is. Is biopsy 100% accurate? Of course not. Not a single test has 100% accuracy. When you got them together,
Nice.
like done several, you're getting close to that 100.
Okay. Well, the nice thing about thermal imaging or thermography is that by looking at, you can see in the background here probably, and we're going to have some charts that we'll insert in this video, that you can see that it's all about detecting the heat in the body and that it can
Detecting that inflammation.
inflammation.
Again, body doesn't BS, okay?
Okay.
If it has issues, it's shown.
Body doesn't BS.
And,
Okay.
and you cannot bribe the camera either.
Okay. It's like a picture. You can't bribe the
Pretty much,
camera.
exactly.
Okay.
You can. It's so innocent, really. It
Yeah.
doesn't present any arrays that you give.
Right.
That camera is given to the
Yeah.
body. It's kind of like taking picture of just taking a picture,
Right. Like if you're a
photograph.
self-portrait or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
And seen in different kind of like angles, will show that doctor almost like 3D projection. And they are trained. They're board certified. They know what they're looking for.
And you're looking for symmetry.
They are looking for asymmetry.
They are
because
looking for
thermally we are symmetrical. I'm not a thermologist. I'm thermographer.
Right.
I'm extremely.
And the difference is that one's a medical doctor and
Right.
one is just taking the picture.
I'm taking the picture.
Right.
And because I'm anal retentive, the pictures are great, and which means I will not stop until I've done really the best images. And
you may go with 4 different angles to get the right.
all different, and it's really like my favorite. Of course, scan is full body because that's the only test that can give you cause and effect.
Right.
Most people know thermography from like breast scan. And breast is very seldom a source of stress. It's more often than not a place where stress manifests itself because it's a vulnerable place.
Let's say it's a vulnerable?
Breast, of course.
So that's a real interesting observation. So if you were to just do the breast, you could get a feel as to what was going on in the rest of the body.
You can get the feel what's going on in breast, okay? But we don't know whether it's really the source of stress in breast or the source or its place of manifestation of the stress that happens somewhere else. It could be dental health. It could be lymphatic system, immune system. It could be ovaries, adrenals. We don't know until we have the full body scan.
Full body. So you could start with the breast and then do the full body.
You can do that, but also, when it's initial first time scan of the body, and it's a standard like of 5 images.
Right.
It's front, and then it's obliques with the breast with your hands up here, so the doctor can see 2 breasts and 2 underarms in the same picture. So it's breast, 2 front, 2 obliques, and 2 laterals.
And you have to have the naked skin, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to take your clothes off.
Right. But okay. I don't look at my clients, and we have a divider.
Yeah.
I only look at them when
you have a screen that they can go behind it.
Yes.
And then, of course, that's all you see at the end of the day. You don't see a picture of their body. So it's very private.
It's private, but if I see sometimes, again, what camera sees is 5 millimeter deep of the skin.
Right. Okay.
It's kind of like projection. So it could be something on the skin.
Right.
It could be that just was sitting and I didn't see that and did this, and that will bring blood to that.
I see.
So I have to be very careful that I only record the real picture of you. Not that you who is whether nervous or you just scratch yourself or you know what I'm saying. Or another thing that we should not do images at all if people have massage therapy yesterday or acupuncture.
Okay.
Anything that can bring heat to the blood, to the surface, which is blood to surface, will show heat on a screen, on an image, and my job is to make sure that the deviation between your heat, your body's issues, or what was done. I usually do not recommend to drink vodka before the scanning either.
Yeah, that's more pervasive in Russia, though. But I get that. So you also do a really good job calming your clients down, getting them settled into the atmosphere, acclimated to everything, so that when you do take the images, they're not heated up, so to speak, physically.
I really pay a lot of attention to the health history. Mm-hmm. So I start our communication with health history.
Gotcha.
And believe it or not, a lot of people forget stuff. Some of women that I remember, she forgot that she had mono 6 months ago.
Oh, she didn't remember she had mono?
She didn't record it in her health history.
My goodness.
So I eventually, because something was not, right, I keep asking questions and finally we figure out. So I spend time,
that.
and they feel so much more comfortable, and I'm making them laugh, and
Yeah.
so at a certain point they say,
Yeah.
and I said, okay, we're ready to go.
Good.
Let's do imaging.
That's so good. So what can thermography detect?
I would say that thermography can detect the deviation from a norm.
Okay.
But from your norm.
Okay.
Remember that image I showed you, 2 different breasts?
Yes.
Image,
And
I
we'll
asked,
show that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I asked you which one is healthier.
Yeah.
And you pointed on the one that was cooler.
Yeah.
And I said, we don't know it yet. It's 2 different set of breasts. And that was initial scan, right?
But it was symmetrical.
It was symmetrical, that's true. But
So that was good. That was good going for him. But
true. Another one was warmer. But again, it's 2 different women. Until they will do follow-up scan, which is 90 days after, 3 months roughly. The doctor actually in their report can say that it looks low risk, depending on baseline established. Means depending the second scan, 3 months later.
Okay.
And if there is really no difference, that's your thermal print. For your
okay,
entire
that's
life.
just the way you are. You
This
know,
is
like
who
whether
you are.
you're big boned or
Right.
or small bone.
And your image would be cooler than mine because I'm
Right.
hot. My constitution is...
Yeah, we were talking about that. You're fire.
I'm fire.
I gotcha. Well, so a person would come in and get the baseline, and then 3 months later get another one.
The first one will be initial one.
The initial one, which would not be the baseline?
No, the baseline is the second one.
Okay.
And there's really no difference.
Okay.
I mean, same pattern.
Okay.
That's baseline. If there is a difference, then the doctor needs to figure out why.
Okay. So you do initial and then 3 months later.
Baseline.
And if those are vastly different, then you need, you look at those first 2 as the baseline.
Right. Remember that like 12 month studies
Yes.
with the information.
Right.
Show it.
Yeah, we'll put the 12-month
Yeah.
video on this too, or the picture.
When
the
when
image.
thermal scan showed the baseline, kind of like a very, very light spot, very light. It was not green, it was green before in the first place, and then it became kind of yellowish.
Okay.
So thermologists said, we would like to see that in another 3 months.
Okay.
And they sent that lady to get another meaning of assessment, and
Right.
the lady chose mammogram.
Okay.
And mammogram could not see anything yet.
Right. And sometimes it could be 9 years.
It could be, yeah.
Before
it could
the
be-
mammogram would
right.
detect
and
something.
Mammogram has
Then, I mean, like what I'm saying here is that the thermographer, the thermal image might detect something 9 years before
right.
the mammogram would show it. And by the
Because
time
it's not big enough.
it's not big enough.
for mammogram to pick it up.
And by the time the mammogram shows it, you were saying it's a disease or
It's a
something that we
disease.
would call a disease.
It's a disease, yes.
Wow. So see,
But again, the point here is that they were monitoring how it
Right.
kind of like developed.
Right.
Remember another picture, like 3 months difference, and
right.
one was the initial one, and then the
Right.
lady changed her
Right.
diet.
yeah.
Diet. Show it to our
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put another image on.
Yes.
Let's
Our
see.
students.
We're going over our little 20-minute, but we
Oh
did
my
a
God.
great job here. We can
can
kind
think.
of add more of this detail in our next segment.
We can do
But I
that.
think we've done a great foundational piece here on thermography.
Right. And the most important, what you need to understand, all of you, we have a choice. You have a choice. I'm okay with any choice you will make as long as it's intelligent choice based on information. So that's how we see our job. We try to educate you so you would know that there is a choice and you will choose based on information that is right for you.
Excellent. Yay. So, you know, all the information on how to get a hold of Genie is below this video. She's got a company called ThermoVision. She's here in Indianapolis, easy to get a hold of. And there aren't that many thermographers in the towns and the cities around the United States, but there always are usually about 2 or 3. So you know you
In
can.
the city, yeah.
Yeah. So
Pretty large. Every large city
has
several,
about two or
yeah.
three, but it's not like on every street corner.
No, it's not.
So
It's still kind of like
yeah.
a foster child.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you.
A few more details we'll add, like making sure that these reports are available to the client. You send them to the medical physician, blah, blah. It's kind of easy peasy, very seamless. And we can go into that more if we need to in the other
They can
segments.
ask us, they can email us questions and we'll be happy
Yeah,
to answer.
excellent. Okay, well, with that, we'll stop this episode and move on to the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye.